Taking risks is absolutely terrifying. It's not easy. There's no easy way around it. Your brain is literally built with that flight or fight mode that says, hey, let's save ourselves, not get injured. Let's not put ourselves at risk. It's not easy. But let me ask you this. If you never move, will you be satisfied? If you never make that change, are you happy? Or would you really rather be stuck where you are right now? What's the scarier option? Today I want to talk about taking risks, and not just the risks like jumping off a cliff or
Skydive! Did you ever skydive?
flying across the world or doing these crazy things in our lives, but more about the risks that we need to take every single day in order to change our lives, in order to move forward, in order to take these small steps that eventually turn into a marathon. So let's talk about it. I think the hardest part with taking risks is not knowing when you should. Because the reality of it is, we usually feel quite safe, even when we feel stuck. We feel safe because we're not moving. We feel safe because it's comfortable. We feel safe because we know how every day is going to pan out. We know how our lives are. We just know. And I think what's scary is unknowing. Unknowing? What's scary is the unknown. That's what I meant to say. And so your brain is going to be thinking like, okay, I'm playing it smart, right? This is the right thing to do, to not move, to not be uncomfortable, to stay where we are. But deep down inside you, there's a part of you that needs change. And I can tell you this right now, right off the bat, the only way that you're going to be able to really experience change is if you change your environment. Now, this doesn't have to be move to a new city. This doesn't have to be jump on a plane, go somewhere else. I always give this advice whenever you're feeling anxious, and that is if you feel anxious, you need to change your environment. You need to get up and move. And I think we've kind of fallen into this rut of let's stay on our phones. Let's distract ourselves from what we're truly feeling. And then it ultimately doesn't help us. It doesn't make us feel any better. We are in the same spot. We're in the same rut. We're just a little bit deeper. And now our neck hurts and we have a headache. And that literally doesn't help anyone. But when we feel anxious and we change our environment, what we're doing is actually like we're telling our system that, hey, this is a change and we're okay with it. Right? Because when we go into this mode where we're like, okay, do we either go or do we stay and fight? And what it does is it removes you from that situation. So you are technically using your flight mode, but as you're leaving your environment, you're also going into fight mode because you're thinking to yourself, okay, I'm anxious now. How do we fix this at the same time as you are changing your environment? And when you change your environment, the reason why I'm saying this is because when you change your environment, your body changes. Your whole system changes. You get shocked in the best way possible. And I think that's why taking risks in our lives is so important, because if we are constantly in the same environment, not changing at all, we're going to feel the same anxiety. We're going to feel the same depression. We're going to feel the same fight, the same battle that we never seem to win. Nothing's going to change unless you change. And the order to change is first to change your environment. And we know that change is scary. We know that taking risks is scary, but let me ask you what's scarier, right? Waking up in 5 years from now, not changing at all, living the same life, having the same struggles, being in the same spot, or you take that risk right now, and maybe those fears and those anxieties might look a little bit different in 5 years from now. They definitely will. We're not going to be the same person 5 years from now. But will you be the person that you want to be? That's what taking risks is all about. But there's this funny thing about fear. Fear drives us. Fear is the thing that is behind every emotion that we feel, right? We're scared to feel anxious. We're scared to feel depressed. We're scared. That's what drives other feelings up. Fear comes when we're when we're excited. Fear comes when something matters to us. And I know that you're at the point in your life where you want to take risks when you feel that nothing matters. So let's find out what matters. But first we need to find out, why do we let fear stop us? So I wrote down 3 things, and I think we think of risk in the worst possible way. And so we assume that it means 1, losing everything, 2, failing miserably, or 3, looking stupid. Most risks are not life-ending. They're life-changing. They're just uncomfortable. They're not painful. So if those are the 3 things that we feel like risks are, then what are risks actually? Well, I wrote down another 3 things. Imagine that you don't take the risk. You stay where it's comfortable and you do what you've always done. Nothing changes, right? And then one day you realize 3 things. 1, you're still at the job you hate. 2, you're still in the same cycle, wanting more but never going for it. And 3, you're still talking about the dreams that you had years ago, except now that they're further in the back. What happened? Why didn't we take that risk? Not taking risks doesn't mean staying safe. It means staying stuck. So how do we actually take risks? How do we actually implement this into our lives? The first thing that I did was I started taking small risks. It doesn't need to be massive things. You don't have to move mountains. It doesn't have to be these things that you can't ever take back. It could be small little changes in your life, because these small risks will eventually build up confidence, and it will give you practice that when a big risk comes into your life, you won't have to question whether or not it's right for you. You'll be able to know whether or not you should take it. It will be able to allow you to take risks with confidence. And then the biggest shift that I made in my mind when it came to changing my life is changing the what if. And instead of asking myself, what if I fail? What if I get embarrassed? What if this is the worst thing to ever happen to me? I change it to, what if I succeed? What if this is the best thing to happen to me? What if this changes my life? What if this gives me the life that I've always dreamt of? Life's too short to constantly doubt ourselves. You deserve to feel something. And that something shouldn't be negative. Fear and excitement trigger the same response in your body. So the only difference is the story that you tell yourself about it. And so if you were to implement this into your life, do the things that you love to do. This is your sign to start taking the small steps and the small risks instead of just trying to plan out to do the big one. Because I'm telling you right now, if you sit down and you plan to take risks, you never will. You have to just do it. And it goes the same with anything. Don't tell the time that you're gonna complete something. You should tell the story after you're done. This is just your sign to take the risk. And I know it's scary. But what's worse is waking up years from now thinking about what you wish you would have had if you did take that risk. Take the chance, make the move, and you can create the life that you want. I promise. So thank you very much, and I'll talk to you soon.